What's up, family? It's your girl, Blackgirlmarvel. Let's react. This is the first video of my 31 days of reviews for the month of January. I'm going to try to review one movie a day. Because if we can turn it into a lifestyle, I can do that with my working out. You feel me? But anyway, what's up? It's your girl, Blackgirlmarvel. So, if you want my spoiler-free review on Godzilla minus one, go check out my TikTok and go follow me on there if you haven't followed me on there already. But let's get into the spoilered uh Godzilla minus one. Let's lower that down some. So Godzilla minus one is a film that came out this year, December 1st, directed by Takashi Yamazaki, and it's a Japanese film, meaning that it is subtitled English. Whole film is in Japanese, and I 100% dig that. If you're an anime fan, that's not going to be anything new to you, like it wasn't new to me. You feel me? So this film, wait, let me go to, because I can't remember everybody's names. No disrespect. Um, this will be in front of my face sometimes because here's my microphone. Hopefully that doesn't distort anything. So Japan is already devastated by the war when a new crisis emerges in the form of a giant monster, and we all know this, the kaiju, as Godzilla. So this film pretty much starts off with a sorry for the boob shot. This film pretty much starts off as starts off with a kamikaze um, pilot, because this film takes place during World War II in Japan, so 1945. So I'm looking for all my references and all that type of stuff. And we have I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. I believe his first name is pronounced Koichi. Koichi. Um, he lands on an island, and he's a kamikaze pilot, which means that he was supposed to like kill himself essentially in the plane to give everybody else a leg up if he sees an opening. He got afraid. He landed on this island, and this mechanic realizes that, hey, you lied about your plane having technical difficulties because you were scared to fight in this war, which, I mean, he's human and that's understandable. You can prepare people for anything, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be prepared when they get there. Like, preparation is amazing, but people still get scared. So he lands on this island, and when he lands on this island, Godzilla pops up, and he's like freaking frightened. And so he goes back. He goes back home, and he is met with like vitriol from this one lady who, in his town, everybody died, but like him and her, because he fled and she made it. He asked about his parents. His parents got caught up in the bomb that happened, and so slowly but surely he's trying to get his life back together, even though he's still haunted by things that he saw while he was in the war. Around this time, he meets a woman who is fleeing because she was stealing food. You find out that she has a baby. The baby isn't hers. The baby belongs to a woman that was dying, that begged and pleaded and asked her to care for this baby. So the two of them come unlikely parents to this young girl. He brings them into his home, even though she was following him. He kind of had no choice, even though he had a choice, but he had no choice. And so him, her, and the woman that was kind of like berating him for coming back essentially in the war and not protecting them, they all become like this nice little found family and begin to take care of themselves. So he finds a job being a minesweeper, which is going off onto the sea and like pretty much detonating these like leftover bombs that they had during the war, like pretty much a cleanup mission. And because it's kind of dangerous, he gets paid a nice amount of money during this time, and he's able to fix up his house, fix up like the town a little bit. I'm pretty sure he helped out. They didn't show this, but like the town started to get better, like people started to build homes and things like that. And so then he found family, he found like friends and everything with like the guys that he worked with, and he was building his life. But then all of a sudden Godzilla comes and destroys the place. Okay, so for me personally, Godzilla looked kind of trash to me. Like, the aesthetics of like the reptile skin and things like that, the CGI on like his it's giving like How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, it's giving. If you've seen How to Train Your Dragon, remember when, I believe it's in the second one, when Toothless, his body lights up to like break the ice that encases him and Hiccup. Godzilla has that type of same effect before he releases his heat ray on people. I'm trying to keep it PG. That effect is dope. It's like this blue, like electric blue, like color. I will say the action of it, the action is top tier. The action is like, it's giving like Jaws on a higher level because it does take place in the sea. Because I'm always like reference Jaws when something is like placed in the sea and there's a creature in the sea. I'm a reference Jaws. That's just normal. But the way Godzilla ran, it looked like stick figures. It don't look right to me. And I looked into the budget of this film. This film was made for like less than 15, so like probably 15 and down or something like that. I'm gonna say no less than 10 million, like for real. So I'm gonna say between 10 to 15 million this film was produced. And that's honestly like an independent film price, maybe even less a little bit. Because that's not much for a film on this scale, and they did an amazing job, I will say, within that budget. But still, if Godzilla is the title of your movie, you need to put the majority of your money in Godzilla, is what I'm saying. But for me, what takes the cake for this film personally is the family aspect of this film, right? That's what gets me. I've seen, a few Godzillas. I've seen, some Kongs and some Godzilla versus Kong and stuff like that. For me, the people always get in the way. The people are always the problem. Like when the screenwriters are writing these films, they never get the humans right. The humans are always in the way, or they're the reason why all of this is happening. And let's be honest, in this film, the humans were the reason why Godzilla mutated into this creature and started wreaking havoc. They're the reason. But the people in this were amazing. So the lead man and woman and their child, and like the found family and friends that they create and they make, man, like I got attached to each and every one of them, and I didn't want anything to happen to any of them. And for me, I was always on the edge of my seat, worried that something would happen to them. I knew Godzilla would appear. I knew he would, destroy the town or however it is. But I don't think I've ever cared for people during like these type of movies. Like take and I'm sorry because I keep touching this if that's making like feedback and stuff like that. So I do apologize for that. But like um that Chris Pratt film, like Tomorrow War, I didn't care if anybody lived or died. It was interesting. It was an interesting plot. I could talk about it if y'all want me to in another review. But I didn't care if anybody died. I wasn't attached to any of these people. They didn't set up these people good to me at all. But in Godzilla Minus One, the setup for these people, the setup for everyone was amazing. I was attached to these people from the very beginning. I didn't want anything to happen to that little girl. She had already been through enough. There was a moment where the woman that he's with, I believe her name is Noriko, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. She's an amazing actress, by the way. But there's a part where she saves Koichi. She saves Koichi, and you think she died, but then you find out that she didn't die. Bro, I was losing my mind. I was like, she's the heart of this film. You can't kill the heart. It's very similar to them not wanting to bring back Marina Baccarin for Deadpool 3. She's the heart of Deadpool for 1 and 2. You can't tell me otherwise. I'll fight you on. But man, it was so good. Like, and then to see them reunited at the end, to see how they came up with a very competent, smart plan that you could follow, but was still intricate on killing Godzilla. Even though we know he regenerates and he comes back at the end, but still, I mean, eventually he'll come back because they blew him to smithereens, and just a little fraction of him started to regenerate. So all in all, Godzilla Minus One wasn't a bad film. I give it like a 7 out of 10. But for me, what takes the cake is the human story. If there was no Godzilla and I just had this human story and even more elaborated on, I'm golden over here. But I will say the fact that this is a Japanese-led film. Behind the scenes, the credits was in Japanese, the actors are in Japanese, it's spoken in Japanese, and they're brown Japanese people. I was 100% on board for this. We need more brown representation across the board, and this film did.